Alright, hello folks. We have another project. So, right here, this is an engine I was given kindly by some church members. It's a Briggs Stratton. It's a 2 horsepower at 3600 RPM, which is standard RPM for pretty much all small engines like this. And for that matter, pretty much all big engines, as long as they're not super big. It's not locked up, it's not seized, which is good. I've heard that it runs poorly. In other words, it does run, but not well. So I don't know, we'll dig into this thing. I'm gonna clean all this grit off of here, this oily mess, so that way I can actually touch the thing. And then we'll tear it apart and see what we need to do to get this thing running. Look at that. Oh, that's disgusting. Start off by taking off the air filter, which is in here. Clear and re-oil from every 25 hours. Interesting. There's the bottom of it. It has holes in it so it can breathe, so it can get air flow. I'll get it cleaned much better after we get it apart. I just wanted to get that out of the way. It's like a pile of... This is some antique pull start here. You can see it rattles about and it's meant to slide over this shaft here, which is a one-way ratchet. So it doesn't spin backwards, only forwards. But you see here we have a very basic governor system. Basically, the air blows this, and the air blows this, and it causes it to pull on the governor arm. I'm not joking. This is the governor system. My camera's hot. This will pull on here by this spinning, blowing air up here, and it'll pull that back to idle with this big fin.
What if the wind's really windy? It'll pull it back.
No, because there's this cover on it.
Oh, yeah.
And here we go with our throttle mechanism. This is the throttle line here. This pulls and adjusts your tension on this spring here, which adjusts how much you have. This is your main throttle valve here, which... That can't be good. Look at that. It's like not tight at all. I'm assuming that's the jet.
Or you could just push on this.
And then in here is where the air comes in. This is your carburetor, this pipe here. And here's our gas tank and our muffler.
Cover with it back
I'll
here.
give an update when I get this thing more taken apart and diagnose what we have going on. Alright, I've got it cleaned up a little bit more, and I have taken the carburetor off and the fuel tank off and cleaned it out a little bit. Not really great though. I just kind of blew some air through it and put some brake fluid in it. Unfortunately, we're all out of brake fluid, like literally all out. So I can't clean it as best as I'd like to. But I'm just going to check and see if it'll fire up with some ether. Because if it does that, then we at least have an indication of what direction we need to move in. It should go to idle. I don't have any throttle on really. Well, it does a good job of shocking you. Which is a good sign that our spark system's working. Boy, oh boy, that's not comfortable. I grabbed it like this. I think my hand touched the spark plug wire and it arced between my hand. I saw the spark. Ow. Well, rubber gloves. Or maybe if I just touch this metal. Oh, we had a fire. I don't know if you heard that. It was a little fire. Yeah, boy, we got spark, obviously, as we demonstrated with my hand. And where the carburetor works, maybe it's at least getting airflow through there. I don't think the fuel system's going to be too happy, though, because the tank is full of rust. Fill that thing up. So, obviously, a kill switch would be if you touch this piece of metal to that piece of metal or something like that, and it would cause it to quit. So at least we know it runs, it'll run. That's good. Here's the choke. I don't know which way it turns. Oh baby, folks. Well, it blew some junk out the exhaust pipe, which is to be expected. Alright, now we just need to get the fuel tank hooked up and see if it'll drink fuel for itself. Drink from the cup of fuel. Alright folks, we're going to try running it for the first time under its own power. So I hooked up the gas tank after banging it out and rinsing it out and drying it out. So hopefully there's not too much more junk in there. And maybe, just maybe, it'll run all by itself without human intervention of spraying ether. So I got a little of this to help it start. I've not been able to get this choke to work. Oh wait, you slide it open. There's this adjusting screw on the side here. I'd be interested to see what this does. I think this is to adjust the jet. I'm going to take it all the way out and maybe clean out the jet. Or at least see what's going on in here. Yep, here's the little needle. Oh, it's a little better. That's promising. I didn't even put ether in it. Well, we may have found a pretty good mixture because it started working there. So I'm going to keep fiddling with this thing and seeing if I could get it to run. If not, that just means I'm going to need to clean the carburetor out much more thoroughly, which I can do that. I just don't want to risk breaking the little straw that sucks out of the fuel tank. Alright folks, I have it fully up and running now. It runs under its own power. It still doesn't run great. I think obviously it needs some carburetor work and whatnot, and maybe a new spark plug, who knows. But I could do that. Anyways, let me show you how well it runs. So I'll put the choke on a little bit. Well, that's the limit. I was twisting on the jet adjustment. But yeah, you can see it runs. It runs kind of badly, but it runs. It also smokes a lot. Unlike that one, which smokes out the crankcase vent only, this one smokes out the exhaust only, not the crankcase vent. Although I'm pretty sure it's a result of the same thing, bad rings. Alright folks, so we have I've taken out the old spark plug because I think it may be bad. So we got a brand new spark plug for it. You can see the old one. You can see the old one in here. It's very corroded. It's got a lot of dirt and debris in it, and just, well, not really dirt. It's just carbon buildup from years of use, and probably running rich or whatever, and just years of use. So I'm gonna take this brand new one, and hopefully it's the right size. Yes, it is. Screw that in and then tighten it down. It's a little taller, this one. I should be able to tighten it with a crescent wrench, which I wouldn't recommend tightening spark plugs with crescent wrenches, but I don't feel like getting the right socket, deep socket for this, so this will work. Just make sure it's pretty tight, because you don't want pressure loss or that popping out or unscrewing when the engine's running. Alright, so as we learned earlier, there's no rubber cap on this, so if you touch this and the metal, you're gonna get zapped, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad because it keeps zapping. It's not just a zzz, As long as your hand's touching there, that flywheel will keep producing electricity and pumping it through your hand. Pull the choke out a little bit. Alright, hopefully I put everything back together right. Let me put this on a lower throttle setting. Alright, so I need right there, that'll work. Let me put it somewhere where it's not going to run away. Alright. That ought to hold it better. I pushed the thing the wrong way and it stalled. Like it will not start unless it's on choke. My camera battery kind of went out, but thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions for what I should do with this engine, please let me know down in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed this video.